always had something of a bittersweet relationship with the media. But this time Arvind Kejriwal has threatened legal action for negative news. The Chief Minister has issued a circular clamping down on perceived defamatory reports.
आम आदमी पार्टी को और उनकी सरकार को बदनाम करने के लिए कुछ मीडिया हाउसेस जी तोड़ कोशिश कर रहे हैं। रात दिन हम लोगों के खिलाफ झूठी सच्ची हर किस्म की कहानियां गढ़ी जा रही हैं।
He's often lashed out at the media in the past, but now the Delhi Chief Minister has made his war with the fourth estate official. Arvind Kejriwal's government has issued a circular which makes negative news an offence worthy of a 2-year jail term. A report against the Delhi administration could be the ground for a defamation lawsuit. Kejriwal's catapult to power is often attributed to the media. But since taking over as the Chief Minister, he has maintained his distance from the agency that's responsible for his meteoric rise.
एडवर्सेरियल डेमोक्रेसी है जिसमें मीडिया का रोल होता है जो सत्ता में बैठे हैं उनकी गलतियों को उजागर करें।
The CM's diktat provided fodder for fresh political ammunition against Kejriwal.
ये सर्कुलर कई तरह के प्रश्न पैदा करता है उनकी मंशा के ऊपर, उनकी नीयत के ऊपर।
सरकार की तरफ से उसमें क्रिमिनल केस बना करके डाला जाए, सरकार की तरफ से ये अप्रत्याशित है, आज तक कभी भी ऐसा नहीं हुआ।
He's had a shoot and scoot history, and Kejriwal's media gag circular only shows that the CM will continue to be in a collision course with the fourth estate. Bureau Report, headlines today.
Well, joining me now to discuss more on this issue, of course, on Headlines Today is Dr. Sambit Patra. He's the spokesperson of the BJP. Also joining me is Jaiveer Shergill. He's the spokesperson of the Congress Party. And Rajdeep Sardesai, consulting editor, India Today Group. Rajdeep, before I get both the political representatives in the debate, let me start by asking you this. So what has happened, between media and Mr. Kejriwal? At one point of time, he was the darling of the media. Now it seems he tells the police not to let any media personnel near him. And now a gag order, almost, a threatening order to say that whatever the government of Delhi perceives to be defamatory, the media houses are liable for action.
Look, at the end of the day, Ankit, this relationship has broken down. Mr. Kejriwal has issued a circular which is little more than an attempt to intimidate and gag the media, or certainly intimidate the media, and certainly to that extent will be seen as anti-democratic, against free speech. And ironically, Mr. Kejriwal, when there were defamation suits filed against him, had himself gone to court and said there should be no criminal defamation because that offends the right to free speech. I think Mr. Kejriwal needs to introspect and ask himself, is he here to govern Delhi or to run an adversarial relationship with the media? Having said that, it is true that a few media houses and a few journalists have run what I call supari journalism, with the deliberate purpose of targeting the Aam Aadmi Party. Now, we in the media also need to ask ourselves, are we ready to isolate, name and shame those individuals and media houses? Are we ready to be accountable ourselves? Because otherwise, the likes of Kejriwal today, and God knows someone else tomorrow, will create a media trial, will target the media, will use every opportunity to, in a sense, undermine us because we are facing a credibility crisis. So Mr. Kejriwal needs to introspect and reverse this circular that he has sent out, because he needs to tell us what is the difference between legitimate criticism and defamation. And that's not something he can decide. That should be decided by the courts of law. And we in the media also, I believe, need to introspect and isolate those elements who, instead of doing journalism, are doing what I call supari hitman journalism.
Absolutely. Now, let me bring in, the BJP into this. Dr. Patra, you've, of course, now got a point to beat Arvind Kejriwal with. After that, completely astounding victory in Delhi, it seems that the Chief Minister of Delhi is not very comfortable with the media. He, at many point of time, has said that the BJP is sort of running a malicious campaign against him. What do you make of this new order, and how do you think it's going to affect not only the relationship between media and Arvind Kejriwal, but also on the whole of the political class and the media now?
See, Ankit, there are three things over here. As far as this particular circular is concerned, this is unprecedented. Way back in the 70s, we had seen the emergency. Thereafter, in 1988, we had seen an attempt by Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, the then Prime Minister, to bring an anti-defamation bill. And today, when we see of this circular, remember, this circular is not just an ordinary circular. It is almost pressing upon all those who are working in the Delhi government that please arise awake and start marching against anyone who in fact paints you negatively. And on this, the state exchequer would be spending money to fight cases of defamation against the media or any other person who tries to portray the Aam Aadmi Party or the government in a negative way. In the sense that even if you write the truth that, well, yes, no bijli is available, no water is available, but if it paints the Aam Aadmi Party's government in the capital of this country in a negative way, then the money would be used from the state exchequer to fight against not only media but all those people who would be raising their voice. Having said this, let me now also come to the question that Mr. Rajdeep Desai has rightly raised. Yes, there may be a section in the media which may be taking suparis for various political parties. I would not just restrict myself to the Aam Aadmi Party, but I would request a senior journalist as Rajdeep Desai to please name and shame them on the channel itself. Why defer this provision of letting others do it? And secondly, remember, I'm bringing in a controversial thing over here. When the word prostitute was used, which is generally defined as a biased pen, the same thing had not cropped up. Rajdeep and I had a debate that night also. Rajdeep did not say that day that there is a section in the media which has taken supari for BJP, and that's the reason as to why some people in
that's not true.
Let Rajdeep respond to that.
Mr. Patra, you must not lie. The fact is that when the word prostitute was used, when the word bazaru was used, I have always objected to the use of these words. The problem is politicians are using this in a generalized manner to target the entire media. That is unacceptable. Whether Mr. Kejriwal does it, whether General V.K. Singh does it, whether Narendra Modi does it. When Mr. Modi uses words like news trader, it does not befit the office of the Prime Minister. When Mr. Kejriwal today issues the circular, it doesn't befit the office of the Chief Minister. When General V.K. Singh used the word prostitute, it doesn't behove the office of a senior minister. This is not the way you try and intimidate the media. This is all an attempt being made to intimidate the media.
Rajdeep, my question is something different. With all due respect,
Samit, let me also, I'll let you respond. Let me also get the Congress representative in this.
We do it internally.
Ankit, allow me 10 seconds. Allow me 10 seconds, Rajdeep.
Yes, very quickly, Samit.
Respect, my question was something very different, Rajdeep. My question was, when these words were also raised, why did not the section in the media which is today saying that, well, yes, there may have been a supari for Aam Aadmi Party, why did not the same people say that, well, yes, there may have been a supari for Bharatiya Janata Party also? So this thing that you can choose for Aam Aadmi Party and not for BJP is something which we have to understand.
There was a difference. There was an important difference. There was an important difference between what led General V.K. Singh to use the word prostitute. In that particular context, you could, General Singh himself had identified the individual and the channel. In this instance, Mr. Kejriwal is making a general observation. I object to both. I am saying in every instance, let us identify individuals and channels and please take them to court. Please do not use these generic terms. If Mr. Modi has a problem with a few journalists, please differentiate between legitimate criticism and defamation. And if you have a claim to defamation, then please go to the court.
Rajdeep, let me get...
You don't need to use words like news traders and prostitutes, because you are using these words. That's why the credibility, and we are partly responsible, Ankit, even in the media, for reducing our credibility. Some of us have made television or in general the media into a nautanki and tamasha, which is being used by the likes of Kejriwal one day and other politicians the next to denigrate the entire institution. I want to make a distinction between the institution of the media, which is being denigrated, and individuals who you have every right to take to court and defame. But please do not make general statements without evidence.
Absolutely. Let me also get the Congress spokesperson in this. Jaiveer, as Rajdeep was also pointing out, point taken that media also needs to introspect a little bit. But what about Mr. Kejriwal? It just seems it's not like the censorship of 1975. Now it will be Babus, those who will be deciding what the government would not like, what they will deem fit is anti-government, and then they are going to take people to court. It just seems that most journalists would be spending more time in court because the government never likes what the media reports about them.
Ankit, on a lighter note, but also on a seriousness, as a cautionary note to everybody, including Rajdeep, Sambit, your kind self, we all should be consulting a lawyer after this debate, because you and me might become the first test case scenario of this new circular for openly criticizing Mr. Kejriwal. Number two, this circular is purely reflective of his intolerant, frustrated, paranoid mindset. You know, the circular, look at the objective. The law of defamation is well coded in the Indian Penal Code. What is the objective of the circular? The sole intent of the circular is to threaten and scare the media from exposing their misgovernance and misdeeds. Now, the anomaly, look in the circular. The law, section 499 IPC, the second exception is there cannot be no defamation for public criticism of a public conduct of a public servant. Now, Mr. Kejriwal, in his eagerness and hurriedness to attack the media, did a poor cut copy paste job of IPC and CRPC, but forgot to tell his own bureaucrats in the circular, our public conduct of a public servant does not fall under defamation. Because he wants to use this as a pure tool of harassment. He wants to give an open license to his ministers to harass those who openly criticize. Now, lastly, if Mr. Kejriwal thinks he's got some kind of a scarecrow in the field to scare away all those who criticize him, he is highly mistaken. This circular stands nothing in the eye of law. The law is governed by IPC, and that totally protects those who criticize.
Jaiveer, very quickly, I'm also now joined on the phone line by Professor Anand Kumar. Till very recently, he was part of the Aam Aadmi Party. And Professor Kumar, you have been saying that there is a lot of intolerance that is creeping in the Aam Aadmi Party and the Delhi government. Many times, Prashant Bhushan and Yogendra Yadav both said that it is because of that intolerance you and others had to be were shown the door as far as the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned. Now, is this another example of the intolerance as far as Mr. Chief Minister is concerned?
Well, as national convener of Swaraj Abhiyan, I must say it is a different kind of initiative by the Chief Minister of Delhi. When you have an internal party debate or discussion, intolerance up to a certain level is not unexpected. But when there is a party in power with claims for alternative politics, if this is what you think about your critiques from the media, and you give power to people as Sri Sanjay Gandhi gave to Babus and ministers in emergency days, you are really taking a U-turn and you are moving away from expectations of the media in particular. This is not intolerance. This is arrogance of power. And this should be not only criticized, curbed as soon as possible.
I'm completely out of time. Let me very quickly just once go back to Rajdeep. Rajdeep, is this also a case of somebody who many would say has made his own career out of, accusing people, out of questioning a lot of people, and now, till the time he was in opposition, it was all fine. Once he comes to power, he's not able to differentiate that media usually would be reporting on the shortcomings of the establishment itself.
Absolutely. I think one of the problems that Arvind Kejriwal is having, that he's not being able to make the transition at times from being a leader of the opposition to being in government. In government, you are supposed to govern. When he was in the opposition, he would fire allegations in all kinds of directions. And at that time, he invited defamation suits. Here is also someone who's got a Magsaysay award as a right to information activist. And today, if you are going to, as a right to information activist, now give powers to babus and bureaucrats to openly, in a way, challenge and question the media every time they are criticized. And as rightly pointed out by Jaiveer, there is an exception in the section 499 that the conduct of a public servant can be questioned by the media. So I think Mr. Kejriwal needs to introspect. What does he want to be? Does he want to be this Magsaysay award winner, right to information activist, or does he want to be seen as this chief minister who's intolerant of any form of criticism? I will, however, say that we in the media should not give the likes of Kejriwal an opportunity by resorting to some of the kind of journalism that we have. Instead, we should unite and use this opportunity to ensure that politicians do not tell us what to write or what to show, because that would be extremely dangerous in a democracy like ours.
Let that be the last word on this debate. I'm completely out of time, and before I go, thank you so much to all my guests, Rajdeep Sardesai, also Sambit Patra and Jaiveer Shergill, and also Professor Anand Kumar for joining us on the phone line.